Hi everyone, welcome to our session on healing for knee pain. So we will start. Let's do the invocation first today. So let's start. Let's close our eyes. Connect the tongue to the palate. Inhale slowly, exhale slowly. Let us invoke to the Supreme God, Divine Father, Divine Mother. We thank you for your priceless blessings, for divine light, divine love, divine guidance. Divine love, mercy, inner healing, physical healing. Thank you for the inner strength to practice regularly. Thank you for your divine help and protection, for illumination, abundance, and prosperity. We thank you. Let's also do the soul affirmation. I am that I am. I am not the body. I am not the emotions. I am not the thoughts. Yes, once in a while, my emotions go here and there. Once in a while, my thoughts go here and there. I am the soul. I am a spiritual being of divine intelligence, divine love, divine power. I am one with my higher soul. I am that I am. I am one with the divine spark within me. I am a child of God. I am connected with God. I am one with God, and I am one with all. Inhale slowly, exhale slowly. Some of us are here because our knees are paining or they pain once in a while. So we're going to do an affirmation related to that. I am that I am. I am not my body. I am not my knees. I am not the knee pain. I am not the thought that causes the knee pain or is a probable cause for the knee pain. I am the soul. I am a spiritual being of divine intelligence, divine love, and divine power. I am not this pain. So, knee pain is something that we have when we have exerted ourselves sometimes, or when we climb stairs, or when we don't eat enough proper food, we don't have enough calcium in the body. So we need to also be aware of the role of vitamins. If we are missing vitamin D, then we need to get a check with our doctor. Some people are saying that they're feeling weak. Again, you need to get your B12 tested again with your medical doctor's advice. So the reason we mention these things is because pranic healing is complementary to orthodox treatment or any other treatment that you are planning to take. And it's important to keep all these things in mind. So, pranic healing works on the energy body. So it works on, what we call the, on the energy body. So medicines and food and exercise, they work on the physical body. So it's basically when the physical body and the energy body are aligned is when proper healing happens. Just medical treatment may or may not give you results. It will definitely give symptomatic relief, but is it going to give a cure? I'm not really sure. I think usually for most cures, like if you want to be completely released of the problem, then I think some alternative therapy in the form of exercise, physiotherapy, Ayurveda, massage, or pranic healing, of course, is our favorite, is needs to be done. Okay. Now, some of us have been saying that, the knee pain protocols. So in this book, The Ancient Science and Art of Pranic Healing, Master Choa mentions, this is on page 92. He talks about minor arthritis or rheumatism. And he says here specifically regarding knee pain, I'm just going to read it. This is on page 93. He says that an accident on the knee may result in arthritis of the knee after several years. So, let's say, for example, when we were children and we were playing football or we just, broke our knee. And that point, because we are young, we don't really realize. But any kind of accident or injury to the knee can, after many, many years, cause minor arthritis. And he says if this is the case, then of course he talks about the treatment. So the reason I mentioned this is because although specifically knee pain is not mentioned in this book, if you look at the minor arthritis or rheumatism protocol, this is especially for those who have done basic pranic healing, this is for you. So make sure you pick up the book and you do some healing on yourself. It also says that after a few sessions, you may feel, or whoever you're doing healing for may feel that the knee pain is completely gone. One second, it just says here. Um, yeah, after the first or several treatments, the patient may be completely relieved, which means the knee pain might be gone. This does not necessarily mean that the patient is completely healed. It may mean that the patient is partially healed and is in the process of improving. Therefore, it is necessary to give the patient several more treatments. So this is basically for us to keep in mind that when we are taking pranic healing or we are doing pranic healing, we need to repeat till till the knee is actually strong enough. And how do you tell that? For those of us again who are in healing, we know that there is a technique by which we can tell whether the knee is fully healed or not. Okay, so I'm not going to share that here. Okay, so our book, Louise Hayes, by Louise Hayes, Heal Your Body, where she talks about the probable causes. I'm just going to repeat the probable causes to give us some more time to think about what it could be. So today we'll focus on the inability to bend. So today's message was drafted by Devapriya Adhikari, and he said, joints are like bridges. Knee pain can be a cause of any such emotional hitch or lack of bridging with someone. So please join us to help yourself get rid of it. So I really liked how Devapriya has put it that joints are like bridges, right? So when there is a joint, there are two parts, and a joint basically helps those two parts to move together. And the beauty is that it actually helps those parts to move together, which means that it's not that we just join and we just stay stuck. It means we move forward together. Okay, so today we are going to focus on the inability to bend, and I would like us to think of one relationship where we are being a little inflexible. So let's just take a few seconds and think of that. And the technique we are going to apply is forgiveness. It's also one of the suggestions by Louise Hayes in her book. And for those of us who are in the Pranic Healing School, we know that Master Choa talks about forgiving anybody who has hurt us. So let's take a few seconds and figure out who that is going to be. Okay, so what we'll do is after we finish the session, we will do the forgiveness. So for now, we just want to be aware of who that person is. Okay, now the other thing Louis Hayes says is that I love my knees. I have understanding and compassion, and I easily forgive the past and everyone in it. I acknowledge others and praise them at every turn. I choose thoughts that keep me open and receptive to the love and joy that is flowing freely everywhere. I kneel at the altar of myself. So, what does that mean? I kneel at the altar of myself. What that means to me is that I see myself and I kneel in reverence to myself. So, why would we kneel in reverence to ourselves, right? So, one other thing that I heard, I think this was said by Parthasarthi ji, A. Parthasarthi of the Vedanta Academy. Again, if I'm misquoting, I'm really sorry, but this is what I remember. I remember he said that we we become God. Okay, the way he explained it is that when we are dreaming, we are the dreamer, and when we wake up, then we are the waker. But between the dreamer and the waker, it's like we become. The dreamer becomes the waker, and the waker becomes the dreamer. Right? There is a very there are very few people who are able to be aware of that transition from being awake to being a dreamer, right? Often we think that we are in the dream and that we are completing the dream, but that's actually visualization. That's not the dream. Okay. Of course, there are people who are able to do that, who are able to travel astrally in their astral body. So that is definitely possible. But what we need to keep in mind, what I'm trying to communicate here is that we become godlike. We become God. We don't just suddenly find God. We gradually become God. So what does that mean? We also need to keep in mind that there are many, many levels of God. There is of course the supreme God, but then there is the entire, you know, hierarchy, if I may say so. So Master Choa Kok Sui talks about this in his book, The Existence of God is Self-Evident, where he basically talks about the planetary Parabrahman. Then he talks about the solar Parabrahman, which means the Parabrahman of the solar system. Then he talks about the galactic Parabrahman, which means the Parabrahman of the galaxy. And he talks about the universal Parabrahman, which is the Parabrahman of the universe. And then he mentions that there are many, many, many universes. So there are many, 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 many Parabrahmans of the universe. So for us sitting here on planet Earth, like, you know, one little dot on planet Earth, that's our world. So what we are going to do is we are gradually going to move towards a higher and higher level, or a more evolved level of becoming God. So what's the relevance of this? The relevance of this is that even with something as simple as a knee pain, we have to understand that it is going to slowly, slowly, slowly become a healthy knee. Okay, so we have to be patient and we have to help that knee to develop, which means that just knowing the affirmation is not going to do much for us. It's going to do something, but what's going to be really important is for us to practice, and for us to remember the affirmation, and for us to repeat it, and to, of course, do it in our own words. So one thing that I've also found is nice is to just write it down in our own words. You know, the concepts that we are discussing. Okay, let's raise our hands in blessing position. Let's be aware of our crown, our heart, and our hands. Let's visualize beautiful light coming out of our hands. Let's visualize the face of the person with whom we have some inflexibility to sort out, someone who we need to forgive. Let's do the forgiveness. So let's visualize the person in front of us. Let us remember what they have done and let us say, I forgive you. I forgive you for what you have done. If you feel that they've been immature, you can say, I forgive you for your immaturity. If you feel that they didn't do things the way we wanted them done or you wanted them done, then you can say, I forgive you for doing things your way. I forgive you. Let's project beautiful forgiving light to this person. Let's say, I forgive you. I forgive you for the hurt, the pain that you have caused me. Let's also think of an area where we are being inflexible. Let us visualize the person with whom this is related. And let us say, please forgive me. Please forgive me for being inflexible. I forgive you for the hurt and pain you have caused. I forgive you. Please forgive me. Inhale and exhale. Let's continue to project the beautiful energy that is coming from the Supreme God and flowing through our hands. Let's bless this person. Let's bless ourselves. Let's visualize the relationship the way we want it to be. You know, very often we don't know what we really want in the relationship. We're very often talking about, I don't want this and I don't want that, and I don't want this person to do this and I don't want this person to do that. But can we specifically say, I want you to do this? and that will, help improve the relationship. So just think, like, can we be specific? What can that person specifically do? If we say something general like listen to me, that's really not possible, right? Because that person will have their own opinion on how they want to do things, so they can't listen to us all the time, right? They can listen to us sometimes, and we can be specific about what is it that we want them to listen to us about. Okay, so today again we are going to bless all our goals. So let's bless our financial targets, and while we bless our financial targets, let's also bless ourselves with the flexibility to achieve those financial targets. If we need to wiggle a little bit and figure out a different route to reach that financial target, let's give ourselves the flexibility to do that. Okay, knees represent flexibility. Let's visualize our health target. Let's also be flexible in that. Perhaps if we are doing everything right in terms of food, then perhaps we need to look at medication. If we are doing everything right in form of medication, perhaps we need to look at food and exercise. So let's give ourselves that flexibility. Like, okay, I want to improve my health and I'm going to be flexible with it. We've also already worked on the relationship flexibility. So visualize the joint of that relationship being flexible as possible. Yeah. And let's bless our spiritual target. Let's also be flexible with our spiritual target. We want to forgive, but we don't get around to doing it because we're like, oh, I'll have to sit down and do it. Not necessarily. If you just see the person, you can just think to yourself, oh, I forgive this person. Oh, okay. Go in, you can just forgive them. Oh, you made a mistake. Okay, it's fine. We can do it all the time. We don't have to necessarily remember to sit down and, turn on the recording and then do the forgiveness. We can just do it anywhere, anytime. So let's give ourselves that, again, that flexibility to do it. Okay. Okay. Now let's put our hands down and let's do a short visualization. Let's visualize the knees. Let's project some energy to our knees, some love. Let's just coat our knees with love and affection. Because usually when we refer to a knee that's paining, we're like, you're paining so much. Instead of that, let's just be grateful for the fact that the knee is there. And the knee takes us place to place, helps us to walk. Let's just express some gratitude for what the knee does do. It makes us stand on our feet. It helps us be flexible. So let's learn to love our body part by part. I am not the body. I am not the knee. I am not the knee pain, but I have this body and I have this knee and I'm going to take care of it. Okay. Okay. Please gently open your eyes. So one more thing that I would like to talk about is the use of oils. So this again by experimentation. I don't really recall who told me this, but I use a combination of ginger oil and rose oil. So you can use organic ginger oil and organic rose oil, mix it together and just apply it on the front and the back of your knee, or if you have shoulder pain, you can use it for that also, or any part of the body that is painful in a joint. You can try this rose oil and ginger oil in equal proportion. Obviously it depends on how big the body part is, so you'll have to take oil accordingly. But usually, when I recommend it to people, it's like 5-6 drops of rose oil and 5-6 drops of ginger oil is enough. Try to use organic oils. They are therapeutic, they are restorative, and of course, you can study more about this topic. Okay, so I hope that was helpful. So a good place to get rose and ginger oil is Rainbow. It's a store in Kolkata. They sell organic produce, so you can get it from there. And that's it. So some people are saying that they get cracking sounds from their knees. So it is my understanding that what happens is that when there is insufficient lubrication in our body, and this is again, I'm telling you as a, on the patient side, I'm not a medical doctor, so you need to verify this. But what I understand is that when our joints begin to crack, what that basically means is that small crystals are getting formed in between the joints. And what happens is like it's like a salt that is stuck in between the joints. And so when we do this or when we move the hand, then that crystal cracks, and that is the sound. And because it's a crystal, as in like, if you just visualize a salt crystal between your joints, it does break, but over time it also erodes that part of the joint, like the ligaments and the bones on both sides. So this is again my very limited understanding, as explained to me by someone. So again, I know it's a little vague, but I just wanted to share this so that we understand the role of lubrication, one, and two, we also understand that why are we having these crystals in our body? Why is the body forming these crystals? So perhaps we need to also look at our water consumption. We need to look at the health of our kidneys. One more thing that I have, this is again a personal observation, so just take it as a personal observation and nothing else, is that when I sometimes drink water standing, then I find that my knee turns to pain. Otherwise, I don't have, touch wood, I don't have any knee pains. But, I've seen a lot of people stand and like just, drink a bottle of water like that, like in standing position. So just observe if that is something that you're doing, especially after exercise, then perhaps you need to sit down and then drink water. This is again a personal thing, okay? So it's not a rule for everyone. It's just something I would like you to try. And of course, for the crystals, like I said, we need to be aware of why the crystals are being formed in the body. So is it insufficient water? Are the kidneys not being able to flush out whatever salts we are absorbing? Do we need to reduce our salt consumption? There are a lot of things out there. So it's a good idea to contact your medical doctor for more specific advice on some of these things, okay? Because we're not medical doctors, we're just sharing our experience here. Okay, so thank you everyone. We'll see you soon. And for those of us who would like to join the live session, it's at 4 o'clock on in India Standard Time. We will be having the meditation on twin hearts. So we are not permitted to stream the meditation on twin hearts, which is why we do not have any recordings of it. If you would like to do the meditation on twin hearts, we have one recorded in our voice, as in like in my voice. And you can listen to that. It's on our YouTube channel. And if you like what you see, do subscribe and share so that we have one pranic healer per family, and that every person who does basic pranic healing is at least healing their own family. Please heal your family. Okay. Pranic healing is really easy. So please practice.